Event is hosted by Empowerment Through Education, a consulting firm that empowers small businesses, nonprofits, and higher education institutions to succeed. In our work, we're always looking for ways to empower individuals who work within these organizations or outside of these organizations. And as part of that mission, we offer free summits throughout the year. So today we have the Women's Empowerment Summit. We're going to follow this with a Health and Wellness Summit, which will take place in September, and a Small Business Summit in early December. So be on the lookout for those announcements. We'll email that information out to everyone as well. But let's return to today's summit. For our Women's Empowerment Summit, I am joined by 4 powerful women who, from the moment I met them, they might not know this, but from the moment I met them, they've taught me valuable lessons that have helped me, and they have inspired me to be a better person each and every day. And they do amazing work with reflection, with guided meditations, with goal setting, and just chasing that goal, going for that goal. And you're going to get a lot of great strategies from these women today. At the end of today's session, we're going to wrap up with a Q&A panel. So you will have an opportunity to ask questions during the actual event as each speaker speaks for 30 minutes. And I'll talk more about that in a moment, the setup. But at the end, we'll all be in this gallery view together to answer your questions, see what lessons you've learned from today's sessions, and also for our giveaway. I'm going to show you, go back to speaker view. So you can see a lot of our folks here, but what you're seeing right now should be a speaker view with me here. And for our panel Q&A, you can grab your favorite drink, water, tea, or something much stronger, and join us to ask those questions at the end, and you'll be able to see all of us together in a gallery view here. So just some general housekeeping rules before we get started. This is set up as a webinar, so you'll only have access to the chat feature. In the chat, you can ask questions, you can engage with each other and our speakers, and participate in the activities. For the Q&A, we'll use the chat feature as well, and I'll pull out the questions for you and ask those questions to our speakers / panelists. The chat feature will be our main method of communication for today. So use it, blow it up, put in all your ideas, your takeaways, your questions. Don't be shy, take advantage, and definitely engage as our speakers go through their presentations and ask you questions that you'll have to answer in the chat. Today we have an amazing behind the scenes team to help you as well. I just want to point out that embedded in the chat, we have Samantha and Hunter. And then in our panelist views, we also have Claudia Grigorescu, who is one of our speakers, but will also be here assisting our panelists, and Lisa Dizon, who will be joining us today, helping our panelists and our attendees and assisting with any logistics needed. And she's going to lead the giveaway, so get ready. She's excited about that too. Our speakers have been very generous in creating resources and giveaways for you. So at the end, we'll be able to give some of those away. And tomorrow, you'll all be receiving an email with a few additional resources to help you on your growth journey. So with that, we have a jam-packed schedule. So I would like to get started setting some kind of a foundation for this conversation to talk about reflection. I'm going to share my screen. I have a short slideshow on the reflection process, and I'm going to ask you a question or two to answer in the chat. So for everyone here today, get ready. We're going to use the chat feature in a moment. So let me share my screen again. You know, it's that moment when you share your screen and you're wondering, is it going to work? Will my presentation be there? And I think it is. So hopefully you're all seeing what I'm seeing, which is the power of reflection in your growth journey. And perfect. And feel free to jump in the chat. If you see that screen, put yes that you see it. Start using that chat and getting used to the chat being the main communication feature. Okay, and so I want to talk a little bit about the power of reflection in your growth journey. And in this process, I do a lot of work with individuals using reflection for personal and professional growth. I think that a lot of us are trying to figure out where we want to go in life, or that future. We want to set goals, we want to do things. But before we can get to that point, we really have to think about our past and our present. We have to figure out where we came from. What experience shaped who we are today? What lessons did we learn along the way? That information shapes who we are now, the present. And so in the present, who are you now? What are you doing? How are you living? Who are you as a person? These things are informed by your past and the things going on around you. And you have to take a moment to reflect and understand what's happening now to see how that all comes together. And then from there, you can say, I think I know where I want to go based on what I know about myself now. I know this, and this is where I want to go. These are my goals. And so you use that information to figure out where you want to go, how you want to get there, and who you want to be once you get there. And so for this process, I use a method of reflection on daily lessons learned. I ask the question, what lesson did I learn today? What experience today taught me that lesson? How does that lesson connect to a past experience? Because what we learn today is based on what's happening to us today, but there are always connections to things in the past, experiences and other lessons learned. And so that reflection process of daily lessons learned and then journaling on how you learned that lesson and those connections will help you in this reflection journey. You can use any lens or framework, and we're going to get started with a short chat activity, but you can use any lens or framework that makes sense for your life now. You can think in general, what did I learn today? And it could be about anything, health, relationships, food, work, traffic in Miami, for those of us who are in Miami today. It could be about anything. And I did this for 365 days because I was stuck in life and I didn't know where I wanted to go. And I needed to understand where I was to figure out where I wanted to head. And so I left it very general. I reflected on any lessons learned and looked for themes there. But you can create a focus. Maybe you're focused on health or health and wellness. Maybe it's emotional health, mental health, and physical health. Maybe you want to take a step back and just look at your career. Maybe that's where you're at right now. And so you're looking at daily lessons learned around your passion, purpose, career, current job, skills, and your professional potential and professional interests. So you can choose whichever lens or framework you want to use for reflection. Once you have that, then you can use that to set some goals. So before we talk about some goals, let's set an intention for today by looking at our lens or framework. So what I would like to do is have everyone here today in the chat, just go in and answer the first question you see. What brought you to today's summit? What brought you here today? And I open this up for all of us here today. What brought you to today's summit? Just throw it in the chat. Doesn't have to be a complete sentence. Inspiration. Decipher. These are some great reasons. Yep, stories and insight. Wonderful reasons to come to a summit today, to have your cup of water, tea, coffee, maybe even have your meal at the same time. We're multitaskers today and be able to do that. I see some great intentions in the chat. Thank you, everyone. I didn't want to pull all of them out and point them out, but I invite you all to look at the chat and see what brought you to today's summit. Now, guess what? Now we got to find the lens or framework for that conversation, for what brought you here. And so answer that second question in the chat. What lens or framework will you use throughout today's session? So for example, and now I'll dive into some of the answers in the chat. Maybe the framework is connection, professional connection to others. And you're going to look at that. Or maybe it's just connection to others. Maybe if you're looking for a new business strategy or a new careers, two slightly different ways of looking at it, then maybe your lens is career or professional growth or business ideas. And so that would be the framework you set up for today. You don't have to limit yourself to a narrow framework. You can think broad. And even if your answer was that you came to today's summit for example, connection, you could pick something much larger and broader as your lens. Or you could pull a Jackie. I just say, in general, I want to look at everything. Beautiful. And even if you don't put it in the chat, try to find that lens or framework, articulate it for yourself. Because it's going to help you in setting an intention of what you'll get from each of our sessions today. Love these. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I'm going to move forward, but feel free to keep jumping into that chat and sharing. Just so you know, this process, usually I lay it out for at least 30 days of reflection. And then after 30 or more days, looking at analyzing the lessons. So the top two squares are about looking at your top lessons and those recurring lessons that keep popping up. And then once you look at all those lessons, identifying patterns or themes that you're seeing in the daily lessons learned, and then looking for those aha moments, those revelations, like, oh, interesting, I need to grow here, or I need to follow this more. And so after 30 days, it's important to then look at all those lessons and understand them, reflect on them, take the time to see what doors they're opening for you, what new outlook for your future they're giving you. Then you can map the future. So those aha moments, those revelations now can become goals. And those goals, I put revelations lead to goals. Those goals will help you understand where you want to go, how you want to get there, and who you want to be when you get there. So those revelations will help you understand that, and then create SMART goals, which are short-term or long-term. They could be 1 month goals, 4-month goals, but you want something that's specific, that you can measure, that you can check off, complete it, that are attainable. Don't do another kind of Jackie. Sometimes my goals are not attainable. I think a little bit too big. I forget that I have 20 other things to do in life. So make them attainable, make them relevant, make sure that they match your aha moments, your revelations, and time bound. Don't just put a goal that you can achieve whenever. Make sure you restrict yourself. Let's get this done in a month, in 2 months. If it's a big goal, break it down into little goals. So your daily lessons learned lead to some reflection that give you revelations that lead to the development of goals. And for today, I would love for you to apply this process to the summit. Set an intention for today, pick that lens or framework. Then listen to the sessions, ask questions, answer questions, engage with speakers, and find some key lessons today. Learn some lessons you're going to take away. Then spend time reflecting. We're going to do that in the happy hour, which is not a full hour, but let's just keep calling it happy hour. But we're going to do that in the happy hour. We're going to reflect together, but then at home, reflect a little bit more and have that reflection lead you to some good, strong goals for maybe the rest of the summer. And my brain is an academic brain, so it's already the summer term. That's why I say summer. And then track that progress on your goals. So I hope that this little intro to reflection is helpful. Everyone here today will get access to a digital copy of the 90-day reflection journal so that you can learn the process. You won't be able to write in the digital copy, but you'll be able to learn about the process, hear a little bit more about my story that connected to the process, and see what the journaling looks like for that process. And so you'll be able to open that and see that. And then 2 folks will get a copy of the 30-day reflection workbook, a hardcover copy, mailed to you during the giveaway, but at least you'll learn about the process. And so it's interesting, I started today with reflection, and I hope that in this short little framework that I provided a lead to our first major speaker, that you're able to get something that you can use outside of today's sessions, not just for today's sessions, and then you can start seeing connections as you listen to speakers, different things you can learn, different things you could do, different ways to find those revelations for those goals based on past experiences and who you are now. So thank you for empowering yourselves to sign up for the summit and being here today. Thank you for being here for the start and hearing some of this information. And what I want to do is actually go from here right into our first speaker, so that just so you know the setup of today's sessions, and let me stop my share. Ta-da! For the setup of today's sessions, each of our speakers will have a 30-minute time slot or so. They'll present, you'll be able to engage via chat, ask questions. At some point, we might put in a quick 2-minute break for more tea, coffee, water, or something stronger, depending on the mood. And then we'll end with our panel. Lisa will have a little timer for our speakers. Lisa, could you ring that bell for us so that we know what it sounds like?
Yeah, 1 second.
Awesome. So that's our speakers have different time slots. I'm going to just spotlight myself. Our speakers have different time slots for when they would like the reminders so that they can finish activities. And we have Lisa who will be doing that for us. And then I'll see you all at the end. I'll be here behind the scenes, monitoring the chat, helping, participating, and learning, because these 4 amazing women, they're doing amazing work in general. I hate to be using the word amazing so much, but it's just that it's very inspiring work. The tools are so effective, and I'm always learning new things. So I hope, again, that you have your pen in your hand, your book, your intention is set, and you're ready to go. So with that, I would love to present our first speaker. Drum roll. Our first speaker is Claudia Grigorescu. She is presenting on reflective questioning for purposeful and creative living, a very well-documented process that you will find beneficial in your personal and professional lives. Claudia is a multi-passionate creative, like her boss is what she has in her bio, that's AKA me. She's part of the Empowerment Through Education team. She was born in Maya. She has lived in different countries and has been in academia for about 25 years. She earned her doctorate degree in curriculum and instruction. She worked mainly in assessment and accreditation at both Florida International University and the University of Miami. She loves coaching students to help them grow and now works with professionals as well in small businesses and higher education settings to help them grow their own organizations while they grow personally and professionally as well. She loves challenges and working on teams, and she states, "My potential is only as real as its ultimate fulfillment."